Welcome to Clutter Goth Fragrances, where we celebrate the magic, art, and fun of fragrance. How have you been? It's been a month since I posted the first video on my channel, and it was the January fragrance tray. Now we're going to do the February fragrance tray, and well, fittingly, today is February 1st. You'll see some old friends from January, but a few new faces. New to my collection, but also simply new to these videos. So we'll get a chance to sort of connect and learn a little bit more together. So it was a little hard to choose what my theme was going to be for this month. I sort of had this nascent idea of Valentine's-y kinds of stuff, fragrance-wise, like chocolates and sweets. And then for some reason I decided I wanted tea in there too, so that makes a bit of an appearance. But also I want to grasp onto those super cold weather fragrances, as thematically chosen by me. I'm not necessarily beholden to other people's categorizations, but things that I feel match that vibe, particularly when they match that vibe so much that I'm heavily disinclined to use them in a different time of year. So I want to get the most out of them, right? So that's a bunch that have carried over from last month. We'll see some of those here again. I'm thinking we can kind of speed run through the friends that we saw last month and then leave the new friends to a little bit later. So let's just jump into those. First up, making his second appearance, is my Tom Ford Tobacco Vanille. I think I waxed poetic last month about this one being, and I haven't done the math, but I'm still pretty certain, the most expensive by any measure bottle of fragrance or type of fragrance in my collection. It's making another appearance here because it's one of those ones that I want to get the most out of because it really fits this season. I've had it for years and I see that I just simply don't lean towards wearing it in the warmer weather. So that's Tobacco Vanille. Next up from January is the Royal Blend Sequoia from French Avenue. I didn't actually use this one as much as I was hoping I would, but it really fits both, I suspect I won't really want to wear it very much in the warm weather, but also that sort of sweet treat fruity thing in boxes of chocolates. Oh my gosh, they're one of my favorite things. One of my favorite treats is a box of chocolates. It's up there. It's not my favorite, but it's up there. And in those boxes of chocolates, when you get all of those options and you look at the map and you choose which one you want to go for first, I'm looking for the chocolate, like the orange ones, like the orange cream inside. I'm looking for the strawberry ones, and I'm looking for the raspberry ones. Raspberry doesn't show up as much, but if it's ever there, quite excited, I grasp for those friends. So that's the life that I'm living with this particular fragrance, and that's one of the reasons it's making an appearance on the February tray as well. Lattafa Nebras. This one has, I think I touched on this again last month, but a fun story, interesting story, where this was part of a trend phase that I went through and I'm trying to get out of last year when I kind of went wild, getting lots of blind buy fragrances, just lots of fragrances, period, but especially blind buy because, with Middle Eastern brands, they're kind of not that pricey. I've looked at decants for them and it seemed a little silly to get a decant instead. It's one of those things you sort of have that conversation in your head. You convince yourself that it makes more sense to just buy the whole bottle. Anyway, so I did that with this one because everybody was waxing poetic about how great it was. And when I first got it, I was disappointed. But I held out hope because, maybe it would change as it sat over a length of time. And I frankly don't know that it changed much or if I simply bent towards it. But there was a minute where it just snapped in my brain. And I was like, I like this a lot. And I just started wearing it straight for weeks on end, late last year. So this one remains on the tray kind of partly because I got a soft spot for it at this point. And I haven't really tried it out in warm weather. I don't know if I'm going to vibe with it there, but here it remains. I also like the bottle a lot. I love like a shiny gold and the texture is really cool. It just looks beautiful sitting on my tray. So this one's on February as well. So that's Lattafa Nebras. Atelier des Ors Lune Feline. Not very much I can say about this that I haven't already said. I love it. I know a lot of people, one of the sort of common criticisms that I hear is people don't like the opening. It's kind of sharp. I like it in all its phases. I really think that this is one that I'm not going to dig in the warm weather for a multitude of reasons. So that's kind of why it's here. It's also kind of goes with the vibe, at least name wise and just beauty wise. So this one is making its appearance on the February tray. So that's Lune Feline by Atelier des Eaux. Soul of the Forest replica. This one, gosh, it's one of those fragrances that I really like a lot. I do. I really like it a lot, but I like never wear it. I don't know if you've got fragrances like that, but I was just catching up with some videos from Dr. Claire here on YouTube. And you know, sometimes when someone says something and it like clicks in your brain, it's like you knew this information before, but simply because it was presented in that certain way, like those string of words were put together, it finally makes you have like this light bulb moment realization, like it actually hits you and impacts you. That happened, and she was talking about what she wanted to do fragrance collecting wise this year as opposed to last year, and sort of her experience in fragrance collecting and how there was a period where she was getting a lot, she was doing a lot of blind buys, as me too. But one of the things that she said was, you know, there's a lot of fragrances that you're gonna smell that you're gonna think that's nice. I like that. I should get that. That's a nice fragrance. But is it a true love? I think that was her phrasing. Is it a true love? So that's one thing I sort of want to hold on to help me collect in a way that I feel is better. But also, one of the criteria that she was pulling together was, you know, it could be really nice, right? You could enjoy smelling it. Maybe you don't need a full bottle. That's one point. Maybe you really have to sort of sit down and think, is it something that you're going to wear a lot or not? Like, do you have situations in your life where it fits? And maybe that's what's happening with me and this Soul of the Forest. I do really like it. I don't know if it's a true love or not. It might be. But I just don't know. Maybe I don't have enough places to wear it. It also has to stand up to a lot of competition in my collection. Maybe that's the problem. But it does a lot for me. Sticking your face in a pine tree, which to me, that makes my heart go aflutter. I enjoy that. Oh my gosh, I've just been like planning my camping for the summer. So my body might be in the depths of like winter right now. And we had an incredible snowfall recently, and I'm still trudging through it and dealing with it. But when you got to book your camping, whatever that is, 5 months ahead of time, it puts your brain in a slightly different place. Anyway, I was supposed to speed run through these. My apologies. Let's move on. But this one is still on the tray. It's Replica Soul of the Forest. Okay, you want to talk about true love? I think this one makes the list. Maybe, so like, I wouldn't like marry somebody right after I met them. I'd want it to be at least, you know, a few months, maybe even a year or so, a couple of years. That's what I did myself. So I don't know if this is a true love because I've only had it for maybe a month now, but I have kind of a big dent in it because I just go bananas spraying this every day, almost every day when I get home from work because I don't wear fragrance to work. And I do like sometimes 6 to 12, I know, right? But like 6 to 12 sprays on one arm. I've taken to doing it on my right arm. Don't know why. That's just what's happening. And it's, oh God, it lived up to everything I wanted it to. Now, it's not exactly the magical panettone scent that, like, if you stick your nose in the cake itself, but it's pretty close, and I deeply enjoy it. So onto this tray it goes, because I cannot imagine, like, part of me was like, maybe I shouldn't put it on this tray. Maybe I should, be careful of getting a little bit of nose fatigue till I get too used to it. It won't stand out anymore. I'm going to run through it too quickly, etc. But I'm like, nope, my fragrance is for me to enjoy. And my God, we need things to enjoy in our lives. So onto this tray it sits, and that's Panettone from Milano Fragranze. Again, from January tray, this is Histoire des Parfums en Sans Froid. I haven't worn it as much as I was hoping to, kind of because I was really fixating on Panettone. But I really do like this one. Again, it's like probably not going to do as well. I probably won't like it as much in the warm weather, so it's on the February tray as well. Sort of same story with Poor Rificat. Anyway, it is lovely. I like it. It might fall under sort of a similar category as the replica Soul of the Forest, where I really like it. True Love, question mark? Don't know. But I mean, I have it, it's in my collection. I'm sort of disinclined, at least at this point, to try to sell fragrances. So I'm going to kind of live with the choices I've made. And part of the reason I have this channel is to act as a bit of a creative outlet for fragrance. So instead of doing all of my virtual window shopping and scrolling and quote unquote learning, it's real learning, it's not scare quotes learning, but learning through shopping. Instead, I'll learn through engaging with what I already have and like categorizing them in different ways and putting them through different like head-to-head competitions. Okay, before I go on too much. So Rificat Paris Corner, I do like it. It's on this tray. I was going to put it away, but I gave it a sniff and I'm like, something about this is like February. So onto the tray it goes. So that's Rificat by Paris Corner. Tyrannosaurus Rex by Zoologist. I love this one. It's another one of those super powerful ones. I could have told you this before. I put almost all of my stuff in a Parfumo, but Parfumo says that like the vast majority of my fragrances are unisex. Not a terrible surprise to me. I frankly, about a year and a half ago when I started really falling down the fragrance rabbit hole, I would have thought just I want masculine fragrances. That's not quite it. It's more unisex. I'd have to double check my Parfumo to see if I lean a little bit more heavily on the masculine or the more feminine coated fragrances. But anyway, Tyrannosaurus Rex was from January, back in February, for a couple of reasons, partly because it's that seasonal thing again. I want to get my use out of it. But also my husband likes this one a lot, so I shared this one with him. And another one that we'll see in a little bit that will be on the February tray as well. So I also really love zoologist bottles, and I'm sort of keen to make sure I've got at least one. To let you in on a secret, that's not a secret, but I'm always keen to have at least one on my tray because they are really lovely. So that's Tyrannosaurus Rex from Zoologist. This one is a self-made fragrance that I did when I went to a fragrance making place with my mother in October of last year. And I was sort of trying to build something that was tea-like, so you might not be able to see it, but right sort of at the bottom, right edge of the bottle, the word tea is engraved into it. This one was on January's. It's on February's again because, like I said at the beginning, I'm thinking like Valentine's Day kind of stuff, like sweets, nice treats, chocolates, but also for whatever reason, my brain thought tea. So tea is on this fragrance tray again. Admittedly, not much to look at, but these are two, I think 9 ml each samples that I got from a place called Maximum Fragrance, which is about an hour's drive away from me in September or October, when I started thinking, I gotta get this stuff under control. So I need to start really making more of a rule, especially for expensive fragrances, to sample it before I buy it. These were two candidates for that, and they're both tea fragrances, and they were both on January. So they returned for February's tray. So the one on the left is a little sample of Nichene Wulong Cha, and the one on the right is Memo Winter Palace. I got to play with them a little bit more. I did use them a bit in January, not very much, because again, pointing back to Panettone, really in love with that friend. But these ones are here, and they're going to live a bit of a tea life with my other tea fragrances on this tray. So those three little wee babies that you see pulled to the front of the tray there, the one on the far left is Moon Moss from Lune. The one in the middle is Cardamom Coffee from Lush, and it's 1,000,000 years old. And the one on the right is Forêt Dormant from Lune as well. I think you can tell that I've got less than a centimeter in that little vial of the Forêt Dormant. One of the rules that I'm trying to stick to this year is a bit of a price budget. For February, it's on February 1st, but I'm holding out. I am thinking I'm going to buy a bottle of Vampirum. I'm pretty sure that that's the one that's going to win out, but it's sort of going head to head with me placing a Lunea order and getting Forêt Dormant and like a full bottle, which I think is 50 or 60 mil, I think, and a full of the solid perfume of Moon Moth. So they're both on here partly because like I might get the full versions this month. I've already tapped out both of my samples of Vampirum. I've just gone. I really like that one. I think it might be a true love, like Dr. Claire describes for me. It might be a true love. Like it better be, because unless there's some Valentine's Day sale coming up, I'm gonna have to buy it full price. And cardamom coffee is here again because I'm sorry to say it, I think it's so old that it might just not be useful anymore. Like it might have gone caca. I don't quite know. So it's on this tray for me to make that decision. So that wraps it up for everything that's traveled from January's tray to February's. Now we're going to be looking at some new friends that are joining for this month. Isn't it pretty? I think it's pretty. I think it's pretty. I mean, I'm not known for the most sophisticated taste in the world, and I like it that way. But I think it's pretty. I like the texture, I like the color, I like the design. I like how the sort of tail fans up and the cap comes off. Anyway, this is me waxing poetic before I even talk to you about the fragrance itself. So this is La Charmante Éclatant from Maison Alhambra. This one is on this tray because it's pretty. I got it, I think near the end, maybe a couple of months ago, and I haven't really used it yet, so I'm looking forward to that. And it's also rosy floral and Valentine's Day, right? So there's going to be a few other rose appearances on this tray, but that's kind of the main reasons this friend is out on this tray. It's so tall that it doesn't even fit in frame. So this one is the Cirque du Soleil Eau de Parfum. This is one that I sat on for like a long time, quote unquote, like maybe 7 months, that I had a 2 ml sample. And I just convinced myself that it was going to be worth me purchasing it, because I tried a dupe, which is not on this tray. You haven't seen it yet. It might make its appearance at some point. And I had convinced myself that it was a dupe, but it like wasn't. And I don't know. I was shopping for perfume in person, which is better or worse. I don't know. I guess your mileage may vary. And I was like, oh, it's, I don't know. I was there and I wanted to buy something. Right? We come up with all sorts of reasons, but I was there and I wanted to buy something and I sort of regret it. So it's in time out right now, and I'm hoping that, like Nebras, either it changes or I do, but something bends so that I end up falling in love with it. Another thing is, like, when a fragrance is so inexpensive in the first place, is it worth trying to resell it? Anyway, so the Cirque du Soleil is on this tray because it isn't chocolatey sweets, but it's like, as you probably know, very definitely sweets. And I'd like to have a little bit of that kind of brightness, warm, creamy brightness on this tray. So Cirque du Soleil for February. New for February is Liam from Lattafa. So this one's supposed to be a Gris Charnel dupe, I believe. Not that I've smelled that fragrance to begin with, but love tea, any kind of tea, but a black tea particularly. We'll see a little bit more of that in a moment. But this one I got months ago. I haven't played with it very much, so I'm looking forward to doing that. So that it goes with the tea theme for this month. So we've got the Liam Gray from Lattafa. Speak of the Devil, black tea. This one is from Bath and Body Works, which I never super have been like really into. I hear a lot of folks who are probably a decade or more younger than me talking about how much they loved Bath and Body Works fragrance, like body sprays, and how it sort of formed their youth scentscape. Not for me. I don't know that Bath & Body Works was around until I was a little bit too old for it to have been a thing to form my childhood scentscape. For me, that was more The Body Shop. And I heard, and actually a friend told me, that they just re-released Dewberry. I've heard mixed reviews. My friend said it was awesome and exactly like it, but some of the reviews I read online were like, it wasn't like it at all, and don't waste your time, don't bother. I'm waiting for them to release a few more of, I think it was like framboise and strawberry, mango, I think they had. And these were little oils that came in sort of roundish bottles with like these little plastic dabbers in them. And the ruffians that we would walk over to the mall on our like lunch and period breaks, probably wreaking havoc, as a pack of circa 16-year-old teenagers might do in a mall in say the mid-90s, and just go there and like dab it on. Just go through the beautiful display. It's like a picture in my mind. I can remember it, and just sniff and dab them on, like as if I didn't know what they all were, but I would indulge. So all that is to say, the Body Shop is the one that I'd be really keen on things coming back from. This doesn't form any scent memories for me, but I was almost an unending search for a dupe for Killian Angel Share, which I might let go of for where I want to spend my money kinds of reasons. But that led me to Bath and Body Works, and we'll see what I was actually looking for in a moment. But it was, as they kind of always do, it was a sale. So I was like, oh, okay, well, you've convinced me. I'm going to have to buy a whole ass load of body sprays, which I'm sort of not super sold on, because back in my day, body spray was, I'm going to say, kind of useless and aimed more at like a younger crowd because it was less expensive, and they're kind of more expensive now. Some of these body sprays are as much, if not a little more, than some of the Middle Eastern actual eau de parfums. But anyway, this one I blind bought, but it was so inexpensive, I did not feel badly about that at all. And I'm glad that I did, because it really is black tea. It's black tea. It's very nice, very good. And it is not a super long laster, but it's not like the body sprays of my childhood memories, of my youthful memories. So onto this tray it goes. It fits, but it doesn't. It fits, but it doesn't. It's fragrance. It's here. So that's black tea from Bath and Body Works. Right, two friends sit in front of you right now. So on the left, we've got Inner Angel, a perfume spray from Bath and Body Works, which is a dupe, shocking, of Angel Share by Killian. So you can see Angel Share on the right. I used most of it, the vast majority of that little travel. And I bought the Inner Angel perfume spray as a blind buy, but I had smelled the body spray and I was like convinced. It's really close. It seemed really close, but I haven't done a proper head-to-head side-by-side with the perfume spray from Inner Angel and like the actual Angel Share. So both of them sit on this tray for me to do that, partially because it's that time of year I sort of want to get my fill of them. But I also want to decide if I want Angel Share at all anymore, period, because again, where's my money being spent? And if Inner Angel is worth me trying to search out a larger amount. I don't know actually if a larger amount exists or if this 7 ml is like the biggest you can get of it. I have admittedly 3 body sprays of Inner Angel because I figure I'm going to blow through that. But if this Inner Angel comes in a bit of a bigger size and really is making me just as happy as Angel Share would with everything taken into account, then it may just kick Angel Share off my like searching for list. So these two friends are a little bit of a cage match duo between the two of them for February. So that's Inner Angel from Bath & Body Works and Angel Share from Killian. And to round out the Bath & Body Works spending spree that I went on in December, I think, last year, this cute little one, it's cereal milk soft serve. I got it with some, I guess, morbid fascination and curiosity. Again, blind buy, I had no idea. It was, God, I swear, they were $4 or $5. They were cheap. I really like this one. I thought it could very much go either way. It could be disgusting, or it could be lovely and creamy and sweet and interesting, and that's what it is. I don't know if this is the only size that you can get. I sort of would be very surprised if it was, but when I was looking around on their website, it kind of appeared to be the only size. I don't know if it's limited edition and that's the issue, and maybe I'm at the end of the cycle of this limited edition, or maybe that's what is available for the Canadian market kind of thing. Don't know, but I do like this one. So it's going to join its other body spray Bath and Body Works friends on the February tray because of that sort of the creaminess. Come on, man! Like I'm making these categories up essentially for no reason. It's just to play. So it sort of fits, but it's not exactly rigid. I don't like rigidity around here. So on to the February tray, this friend goes. Another little 9 ml sample. Again, not very much to look at. This one is from Mansera. It's Choco Violet. It's one of those ones that I really have to play around with. Like, is it a true love? Is it not? I'd say I really like it. I find it interesting. And the first time I sprayed it on, I thought, this is giving me a headache. Subsequently, it didn't, so that might have been unrelated. But it's different than anything else I have. I want to sort of goof around with it more, see what it actually feels like. But it's also got that chocolateness, so it sort of fits with the February tray. So that's why Mancera Choco Violet is sitting on February's tray. Believe it or not, I think this is the most chocolatey of fragrances that I have. I mean, it's in the bottle, it's in the name, Brown Choco La Fed. It's inexpensive. I bought it close to the end of last year. I haven't played around with it very much, so I'd be looking forward to seeing, frankly, how much I like a chocolate fragrance. I know I just said I have Choco Violet, but that one's kind of an equal balance, at least to my nose, in my experience, between the chocolate and the floral. This one it sold itself to me as chocolate, so I'll be the judge of that this month when I test it out. That's Brown Choco. Earlier I referenced trying to be a little bit more of a conscious consumer of my fragrances and be a little bit more budget oriented for 2026. So my January fragrance purchase included a couple of Serge Lutens, and I haven't had any Serge Lutens, and these are both blind buys. I know, naughty, but they both kind of worked out. So this one here is 5 o'clock au gingembre. I have to play around with it more because the way it was sold to me was like a gingerbread cookie and tea. That's what I was really excited for. I have to live with it longer because the first times I played with it, the thing that I felt was missing was sweetness. I guess I expected cookie sweetness, and I didn't get that. I've subsequently sprayed it a few times, and I'm like, okay, I see what it's doing. I like it, but I'm gonna goof around with it like on its own the way it is. But I think I might also goof around with it with some like very super sweet vanilla oils that I have and see if that makes the thing that I sort of envisioned that it would be. That might be sacrilege to some, but I'm nothing if not sacrilegious. So that's Serge Lutens 5 o'clock au gingembre. And the second Serge Lutens I got was Feline. This one was like super gamble. This one was sold to me as like, oh, it's like ghostly and like super like creepy and lonely and ooh. And I think it has like 2 notes listed on all of the fragrance sites. So I rolled the dice. And you know what? I think I might actually like it more than 5 o'clock au gingembre. I think it's really cool. It's really interesting. And it is kind of lonely and eerie. It is. That's so weird. But it is kind of lonely and eerie. I'm going to have to, at some point, I should do a head-to-head with this one and one that I bought from a Canadian fragrance house called Untamed. I really, really, really wanted to like the Discovery kit I got from Untamed, and maybe I'll do a video about that later. But none of them really grabbed me. And the thing that made me really want to buy a Discovery set from Untamed was they have a fragrance called Ghost. And I love ghosts, creepy things. I'm Clutter Goth Fragrances for a reason. But I didn't care for that fragrance. And I've subsequently sort of been paying attention to the way that a lot of other folks interpret, like creatively, like, oh, what would a ghost smell like? What kind of fragrances match that vibe? And I think I didn't think it through enough, because a lot of the ones that they described are things that I don't think I vibe with. But Feline, yes, I do. So maybe we'll see in October, because that is my time to shine. If we do some like head-to-heads and find the perfect ghosty fragrance for people who don't like ghost fragrances. Is that the theme? Is that the video? We'll see. So onto this tray. This one goes mainly because I want to play with it more. It doesn't really fit any theme. So that's Serge Lutens Le Feline. Here we have Havana Conference by Persons of Interest. This one is on this tray, admittedly, mostly because it's one that my husband and I share. I got him this for Christmas, and he just doesn't really have a perfumey place. We live in a little tiny hobbit house, so he's got like a perfume. So it just lives with mine. And if I leave it in a place where it's easy for him to access, then that's a nice thing to do. And plus, it's really cool looking bottle. I think it looks pretty rad. So that's Havana Conference from Persons of Interest. Here we have a little travel of Tom Ford Rose Prick. I didn't think I liked rose fragrances until I tried this one. I don't like at Tom Ford price levels. Plus, again, where do I want to spend my money? It's rose, and it fits in the theme of this tray. And I'd like to play around with it a little bit more. I don't have many rose fragrances, and I think it would be a little bit too much in warmer weather, because it's really kind of in-your-face rose. So onto this tray it goes, and that's Tom Ford Rose Prick. Isn't it cute? It's Yes I Am from Cacharel. First thing I've tried from Cacharel, And I got this one. I was sold on this one because it was like, oh, creamy hazelnut. Ooh, nice. And I didn't get that upon first, second, third spray, but it's thematically cute. It looks like a little lipstick. I'm just going to turn it around so you can see. Sort of. You can see the back there. Anyway, the little part you depress to spray it, it fits really kind of in a satisfying way in your finger when you spray it. So that I like. And I want to goof around with it more. It wasn't terribly expensive. As you see, it's kind of a small amount. And it sort of fits thematically, at least the way that it looks fits thematically with the tray. So Yes, I Am from Cacharel is going on the February tray. Sitting in front of you now is a travel for On a Date from Replica. This one I must have gotten a sample or tried it in store, and as you see, not a full bottle because I didn't have the phrase for it at the time, but I'm thinking, is it a true love? I don't think it is. But the reason I got it is because it reminded me very much of the smell of the Concord grapes that would ripen around September, October, and then just get decimated by the local rascal raccoons. But that is a smell of my childhood. I love that smell, and I don't think there's any listed note of like Concord grapes in this fragrance. I think it's actually kind of rosy, florally. Surprise to me. I thought I didn't like florals, but here we are. But this one is on this tray because I think, like I said, I think it is kind of rosy. So I'm going to play around with it and the other rosy appearances in my collection. But it's also on a date, right? So my plans for Valentine's Day, because I do love a celebration and I loathe passing over the opportunity to celebrate, because what the hell else do we live for but to enjoy our lives and live good ones and take care of the land and people around us and have a good time. Anyway, so for Valentine's Day, because I'm a Clutter Goth nerd, I guess, my husband suggested that we could go out to a local antique mall. Very excited for that. Very, very excited. Get myself some more knick-knack trinkets to clutter my house up with, but then also to have a little bit of a nibbly dinner, my favorite. Different little nibbly things, nice cheeses and crackers and breads and olives and etc. So that is my mid-month. And we'll see, maybe this one will make an appearance on February 14th. So that's On a Date from Replica. Might be hard to see now because we have towers of fragrances around these three little babies at the front. But these are three samples that I purchased at the end of last year from Lune, who I think I might be in love with. Maybe. We'll see. I think I might be. The one on the left is L'Art de Rose. Yeah, de Rose. And I didn't pay for that one. That one was a little freebie they put in there. And it was kind of a generous freebie, frankly. Fragrance oil, very rosy. So on this tray it goes. The little rollerball one in the middle is Morning Ritual. And the one on the right, the little actual perfume spray, is Ghost Pine. So I'm trying to work my way through the samples that I got from Lune and see which ones really are ones that I want to add to my collection. The two that I mentioned at the top, the Forêt Dormant and the Moon Moss, yes, they're kind of hard yeses. I kind of want to play with the other ones. And plus that sample that they just included in the bag was rose based. So onto this tray it goes. So that's 3 from Lune. And finally, so I sort of lied, I forgot. I've got, these are scents that I decanted from otherwise rollerballs from Lurker and Strange, which is a local-ish indie fragrance house. The one on the right is the one that was on January's tray. That's Macabre, and I think it might be my favorite one from them. It's certainly one of their most popular ones. And the one on the left, you can see I'm almost out of that little friend, is Dragon's Blood. And that one is a pretty heavily rose perfume oil. So it fits the theme for this month. I know now that I probably shouldn't have decanted from the rollerball into these very lovely, admittedly, very lovely perfume bottles. I haven't experienced any negative repercussions yet. We'll see. But I have had them in bottles for maybe a year and a half at least at this point, like a length of time. So they have done well for the length of time that they have been in these bottles. And I do love the experience of like pulling out the dropper and like with the stem and like magic wanding it onto my wrist. It's just a lovely experience, like physically. So that's 2 fragrances from Lurker and Strange. There's Dragon's Blood on the left and macabre on the right. So a full tray indeed. I have been filming for like almost an hour. A little surprised. I thought I was going to do this quickly, but I guess not. I'm looking forward to digging into this, playing around with it. I threw out a lot of wonderings and self-deprecating foolishnesses in this video. So like any experience you have with any of these fragrances, if I've piqued your interest in anything that might be a little harder for you to find or that you haven't heard of before, maybe I can help you find it. Happy to do that. I'm, to an extent, trying to get Canadian indie brands in here. You'll probably notice a bit of a theme throughout my collection that it's not exclusively that, but it does show up a lot. So if there are things like that, like Lurker and Strange, for example, that, I don't know, maybe you're having trouble finding, just hit me up. I'll see if I can help you somehow find a way to get that stuff. I personally love Fragrance Tray of the Month videos. I love hearing people talk about their collection, why they chose what they chose, the things they love. I also really like hearing the things they don't love. All of it is interesting and informative. So comment down below. Let's have a chat. I'd love to meet you. I'd love to like talk a little bit more about the things that you like, the things that you know. I would just love to connect more with you all and engage with a little bit more of the fragrance community. Thanks so much, and I'll see you in the next one.